very confident about repeating.
He's got a lot of competition, though. Sebastian Tortelli, for instance, was leading in points last year when he went down with an injury at Unadilla.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Sebastian can stay healthy through the whole season, he's going to present a major challenge for Albie. Those guys are going to fight it out, and they both feel like they can win the title.
And then, newcomers to the division, David Villemin from France and Ricky Carmichael from the 125 ranks.
Well, Ricky has shown us speed on the 125, and he sounds pretty confident about doing it on the 250 as well. I mean, we can look at Daytona and see the results of that. Villemin, however, well, it's going to be different for him. He hasn't seen these racetracks, and he's just going to have to feel his way out.
David, we also have the return of Ezra Lusk, who had an unfortunate Supercross injury.
Well, unlike Albertine, who was able to race a little bit this year before he was injured, Lusk really doesn't know where he fits into the competition. So this first round is going to be just kind of feel things out and try to race his way back into shape.
Our Davey Coombs is in the pit area, and he's with the defending champion, Greg Albertine. Davey?
When Greg Albertine came to America in 1995, he walked away from 3 world championships to realize his dream of earning a #1 plate in America. Today marks Greg's first day with that number plate. Unfortunately, also marks his first day back from a very serious injury. Greg, how's the leg?
It feels really good. You know, I was riding it just after 7 weeks. I've had just over 3 weeks on the bike, and I'm feeling fit, strong, and Lord really healed me quickly.
I know that it took a lot of time in America, 4 years to be exact, to get that #1 plate, but how great does it feel to finally wear it?
It feels really good. So many people stuck by me and supported me, and Suzuki being one of them, so I feel very proud to go out there today with the #1 plate.
There you have it. 3-time world champion and 1-time U.S. national champion Greg Albertine begins defense of his #1 plate today.
Thanks, Davey. Turning to the 125s, this year in Supercross, we saw more winners in one season than ever before, 9 to be exact, and I don't see any reason why it should stop there as we go into motocross.
Well, it's going to be good, that's for sure. And if you compare it to the 250 class, you've got defending champion Albertine and Ricky Carmichael and Tortelli. These guys are all pretty sure they're going to win the title at the end of the season. And in the 125 class, I don't think the attitude's the same. If there's one guy that's confident, it's got to be Talon Bolin, because he was the closest guy to Carmichael, and RC's moved up.
A couple of guys that have been around the 125 scene for a while. They're hungry for a championship. Brock Sellards and Stefan Roncada.
Well, Roncada is confident. He's got that 125 Supercross title. He's just going to carry that momentum outdoors. Sellards, he's a strong pit bull. He's got that Larocco style, and he's been looking forward to the outdoors.
New kid on the block, Travis Pastrana.
Well, you know, the rumor is he's better outdoors than he is in Supercross, and if that holds true, well, he could win this championship in his first season.
And the third winningest 125 outdoor rider of all time, Steve Lamson.
Definitely got the confidence, and I know that Cliff White, my old mechanic at Honda, has got that motor tuned in just right, combined with his support from DGY. He's got the equipment and the experience and maybe a little intimidation.
Davey Coombs is with a guy who always has an opinion, Talon Bolin. Davey?
First race of a new series, and everyone's looking for the guy to step up to it. In the 125 class with Ricky Carmichael going out, people are thinking about number 711, and that's Talon Bolin. Talon, do you feel like the favorite?
Well, I do feel like the favorite after last year. You know, giving Ricky a good run. I definitely had the speed and ability, and I'm again another year more mature now. And you know, I'm going to go out there and try to make my presence known and try to put myself in his position, where basically, you know, everybody was kind of psychologically beat down after a few years of him winning, and it definitely is what I want to do. And I'm on his bike. I've made all the right moves, I think, and I feel strong. I've worked hard. His shoulders healed up really well, and I think that, you know, just going out there and being strong week in and week out is going to win me the championship, and I feel I can do it.
A couple new guys in the class, Travis Pastrana, Alessio Chiodi. Any thoughts on them?
I'm not sure on Alessio. I know he's coming off of an injury. I expect a lot out of Travis just because I know over many years of racing that a good team and a good budget and a good effort is very important, and it raises you to that next level. And he has a lot of momentum behind him right now with his name, and everybody's kind of helping him out. So I mean, I would expect him to probably be in the top 3 every time. So he's definitely on my mind. I mean, it's not a guy I'm not thinking about. I haven't seen him race on the outdoors, but as of right now, I'm definitely considering him to be one of the top guys. So
there you have it, number 711, Talon Bolin, a favorite for the 125 championship.
Okay, thanks, Davey. The 125s are at the gate for the season's opening moto. We'll have motocross action when we return.
See a lot of cement this year in the Nationals.
The only single-digit 125 rider, Steve Lamson. That's because he's a 2-time champion. Steve Lamson back with us in the 125s. He was the outdoor champion in 95 and 96 for this division. As we take a look at the great crowd, the Suzuki starting grid, Roncada, the East Coast Supercross champion, Travis Pastrana, his first ever outdoor national. He actually had to pre-qualify yesterday to qualify today. Casey Johnson, good to see him back from injury. Talon Volan, who finished third in points in 1999, was one of 3 riders to beat Ricky Carmichael in the 125 ranks. Way was another one of those riders. Justin Bucklew, a very fast rider. As we take a look at the rest of the field, all potential winners: Sellers, Ramsey, Brandis, Lytle, David Pingree, Jason McCormick, Michael Craig, an old veteran there, and Greg Schnell, a 2-time Supercross winner this year. Alessio Chiotti, former 3-time world champion, still recovering from injury.
You take a look at this track map. There's the start over to your left before it heads up the first big hill. Completely redesigned racetrack here. It's spectacular. Let's take a ride with Davey Coombs. He points out a few tough sections.
Here's the first long hill. That's just a preview of what's to come. See, it's chopping up here. You can fade to the outside. Now we're going to go down this hill. You can see how bumpy this thing's getting. This is just practice. Carry some speed up and out, up over the top, and drop in here where the fans are. I don't have any fans, but nice tabletop air over this one. Here's the big hill. Come out and start getting gears. All you want to do is hold on the whole way up. Oh! Back end almost, front end almost came around on me. Oh, the inside. Drop off the top. It's getting rough down through here. This thing is going to be really tough halfway through the second moto. Now here's that big W. And if you're down, second right here, roll off the third. Take a run. Hit it clean and straight. I was almost short. You roll on this flat area here. Carry your speed up over that tabletop. Now this is the sand section where the French go really fast. You see how rough it gets there?
Thanks, Davey. Good job riding and talking at the same time. And there's been a lot of time on the track since then, and a lot of qualifiers and practice. It's much rougher than it was then. It's going to be a challenge for these guys by Moto 2.
Brian Renshaw of the AMA has the 32nd board in the air as we take a look at the race format. Each division with 2 motos. The overall winner determined by the combined results of those 2 motos. The board is sideways. From 5 to 10 seconds, the gate will drop. Let's check out the rookie Travis Pastrana in the first race of the 125s this year. He gets boxed out a little bit. It's Steve Lampson, the veteran, taking a decisive lead. He's got the whole shot. Way, Sellers, Fonseca, Roncada, Ramsey, they're all there as they try to redesign the inside of the track.
Moving the hay bales out of the way, but look at Lampson just motoring these guys up the first hill. What a return to action for Steve.
Boy, here's a good shot that shows us the elevation changes. Steve Lampson, number 6. A 2-time 125 champion, the 3rd winningest rider in 125 ranks, with 20 victories coming in to this year's action.
First time they dropped down the big hill into all the people. You see those berms are starting to get deep, and you've got to get a great drive out of there because these 125s don't pull that well out up the big hill. If you don't get out of this corner good, you've got to downshift.
Boy, a lot of people stalling in that big rut too. And that's Gosler, Chris Gosler, Amsoil Honda.
He's already covered with mud. Vision is gone. You can't read his front number plate. He's got a long way to go.
And down the hill once again we go. Terrific speeds coming off these hills. But a wide enough track to be able to pass.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary, Art. I mean, these guys are coming down that hill so hard, and especially towards the back of the pack, a little bit of dust in those early laps kicks up. Not to mean the track isn't in perfect condition, just, you know, when you got a 40-rider field, it's tough to see.
Whoa! Nick Way went over the bars. Number 23, he was in 2nd place. Sellers moves up a notch. Fonseca probably did too. Way's going to end up in last place, David. Can't get back to the bike.
That's unfortunate. These guys are just coming off a triple into that left-hand turn, a little bit blind, and he's got to wait the whole time. How frustrating to go from 2nd to last. Hit a braking bump right there following Lampson. He was going for that outside berm, and see this braking bump right here. His back wheel hits it, and it just starts at endo, and he had no chance of saving it.
Last year, Way won his very first national at Millville, but he's got to come all the way from last place if he's going to turn the trick here today.
That's too bad. Last year he had a great run here. He went 3-3 on the day for 2nd overall, but he's got a lot of work to do now from last.
Lots of action here at the beginning of the 125s as Steve Lamson is our leader with Fonseca moving into second. Sellers moving into third at Glen Helen Raceway just outside of San Bernardino, California. And the first moto of 125 action has turned out to be a great one. The battle is on for first place. Brock Sellards, FMF Honda, giving the challenge to number 6 right now, Steve Lamson. Lamson with his own private team. Number 6 cuts to the inside, bar-to-bar action, and Sellards looks determined to take over the lead.
I think that outside berm may have paid off. He was able to carry a little more momentum. I talked about you need to get out of that berm fast to have a good run up the hill, and it worked for Sellards.
Steve Lamson with lots of experience, not letting Sellards get away. One of the marks of being a contender this year before the season started was if you beat Ricky Carmichael last year. Of course, Carmichael advancing to the 250 ranks, but Sellards was one of the 3 riders that was able to gain victory over Carmichael.
Check out Lamson right here. He's all the way on the back of this. He's actually sitting on the fender. Now, I don't know if that's the most efficient way to go up the hill, but he's definitely getting traction. He's kind of in a tuck. I think Steve's a little bit heavier than Sellards, and he's just trying to wring a little more out of it.
There you have Ron Cotta, Casey Johnson, and Talon Volan catching up with the lead pack. Volan on the Pro Circuit Kawasaki now tries to take on Casey Johnson.
Volan means business out here. He feels like he owns these outdoors, and remember last year he was able to run down Carmichael out front, pass him before he went down.
Lamson still right on the back tire of Brock Sellards.
Well, this 125 action, Art, is just what I thought it was going to be. It's the same as Supercross. Look at how tight all these guys are, and they all look like they can win this moto.
Travis Pastrana moving up to 7th place in our rundown. Look at the different line now that Steve Lamson tries to take into the corner on the top of the hill, and here's where they get that unbelievable speed. You've got to have it to come down that hill at that speed.
Whoa, Lamson taking a little bit of a gamble going down the inside. He had to hit that rut just right. Got a little head shake there. That's scary.
Ron Cotta careful not to be in the same line as Lamson goes to the outside of Lammy here. He's trying to battle for 2nd place right now.
That outside berm seems to be working well, too, as far as getting a drive up the hill.
Bar to bar now. We've got Ron Cotta testing for 2nd place. Stefan Ron Cotta had a great Supercross year. He was the winningest 125 rider in Supercross with 4 victories.
Yeah, he's got some confidence now, and the arm pump problem is gone. He's proven to himself that he can last in a tough race. Look at his teammate right now, gets by him.
Casey Johnson back for another try after being one of the most unlucky riders in 125 history in the last few years.
That's looking good for him now. He started this race last year with an injury and went to 2nd in the first moto, and he looks like he's be able to do that again here.
So both Yamaha of Troy riders make the pass on Lamson, and Bolton is right behind him.
Boy, Sellards has impressed me. He just muscled his way into the lead right here. It looked like he had a little bit of a gap. You can see the distance from all these guys back to, looks like maybe Pastrana now has joined this group, bringing up the tail end of it. Look at it, evenly spaced. All these guys have a chance to win.
Pastrana having a couple of veterans really give him a rough time in the Saturday pre-qualifying, put him down twice, say, hey, welcome to the crew.
Yeah, welcome to the professional ranks. There's a lot of guys that may be a little bit jealous of all the attention that Travis is getting and doing whatever he can. Oh, remember Villeman going after that $500,000 in Vegas. A lot of guys didn't want to see him get it, and that's kind of happening here to Travis, and he's going to have to be able to fight his way through that, and it's going to make him a much more mature rider.
Talon Volan looking for opportunity against Steve Lamson. Last year with FMF Honda, Volan started out the motocross season with 6 straight podiums, including his first Nationals win at Budds Creek. The unfortunate thing for Volan, though, is at Unadilla, he got hit twice by bikes after falling down and had to sit out the rest of the season.
Yeah, there's no question he has the speed to win races. He can win the championship, but you know, while he was looking good in the Supercross season this year, he got hurt in Houston. So the question really for him is, can he stay healthy through the whole season? If he can, you've got to put some money on him for the title.
You can really see the reason for his confidence, too, beating RC in 2 motos, and was really the only threat to the champion last year before that violent crash at Unadilla. Down the hill we go. Brock Sellards, number 18, is our leader, but Ron Cotta and Casey Johnson are in pursuit.
These guys are pushing it so hard down that hill Right back up, right back down. This track, it's going the opposite direction of last year. All these new sections, I love what they've done here.
Well, it looked like Volan ticked the back end of Steve Lamson.
Yeah, he may have been trying to come in there and pass him on the inside, didn't have enough, hit his back tire. Take a look, he's just parked on his rear wheel right there. High sides over the berm, but check it out. Good save, sticks his leg out, he keeps his finger on the clutch, keeps the bike running. Before he even gets all the way out of shape, he's already looking back at traffic, trying to figure out the fastest way out of that. He really limited the damage there.
Flexibility.
That could have been a lot worse, you know. He could have lost a lot more time because if you lose contact with this lead group, it's so hard to catch back up.
Our next ESPN2 telecast, 125s in the season opener. It's a battle for first place. Brock Sellards, number 18 on the FMF Honda. And right behind him is Stefan Roncada, a 125 Supercross champion this year.
Sellards, it looked like he was starting to pull away a little bit. Now he looks over like, not you again. Same story as the Supercross.
And here comes Roncada. Roncada gives him a look as he goes easily inside, makes the good turn. Roncada is our third leader so far in the early going.
The way Roncada's riding right now, he's doing everything right. This might be the last lead change. Look at the burst out of that corner. That's the sand section that Davey talked about, the French guys going fast. I guess there's a perfect example.
Roncada coming back after an injury-plagued 99 year in the best shape of his life. As we take a look at Brock Sellards getting the challenge now from Casey Johnson, Roncada's teammate. Could this be a Yamaha of Troy 1-2 finish? Let's go down to Davey now and check in with him down in the mechanics area.
Down here in the pit area, it looks like Stefan's taking charge.
Yeah, he's finally got out front, and he's just got to set the pace and keep it going and try getting as much lead because Brock ain't going to give up. He's always going to charge hard.
What about your teammate Casey Johnson? He's on the pace right now too.
He's going to be another one. They're not going to let Stefan have any slack. Stefan's going to have to go hard all the way to the end. Hopefully he can do it.
The battle is now on for second place. That's Casey Johnson, number 29, cutting to the inside on Brock Sellards. Sellards just trying desperately to hold on, has used a lot of that track. And Casey looking for opportunity as his teammate Stefan Roncada starts to pull away from the two.
Well, what a ride for Johnson coming back. I really didn't know where to put him in this class. I wasn't sure how strong he was going to be, but he's attacking and realizes that he can go the speed. There he goes. I think he feels like he can stay with his teammate Roncada out front, and Sellards is struggling a little bit here and there right now, and if he gets stuck behind him, Roncada will be gone. So the pressure that Davey brought up about these guys keeping Roncada honest, well, you're seeing an example of it right here. Casey gets out of that corner, squares it, gets a smoother line, able to clear that double jump, passes no problem. He's going to chase his teammate to the finish. I'm really impressed with how strong he's opened the series.
Stefan Roncada is our leader here in the first 125 moto of the season. Casey Johnson's best overall was right here, 1997. That was his second place finish. Look at that, Travis Pastrana race within the race while we were away. Steve Lamson makes the move on number 18, Brock Sellards, and Pastrana is right behind him.
Pastrana has really forced the issue. Watch him go to the inside right here on Sellards. Look at this. He wheelies through this berm, standing up. Signature Travis Pastrana. And now he's pressuring Lamson. It wouldn't surprise me if he had Lamson's autograph. I mean, what a scenario here.
Well, there's only two tracks in this year's schedule that Lamson's never won at. One was Glen, Helen. The other Mount Morris, but he's won in 11 different tracks in those 20 wins. Quite a record. It's just great to have him back on the tour.
Oh, I'm so happy to see that he's a factor here. I wasn't sure how he was going to do. I mean, he's been off the bike for a long time, fighting different rides, and here he is, a real threat.
Let's check in with the observation now of Davey Coombs, trackside.
Here's a little something to keep in mind as this first 125 moto goes down to the wire. Both Roncada and Johnson have one career moto win to their credits. Neither of them has ever won an overall. This just goes to show you how much dominance Ricky Carmichael had while he was here. The two guys out front, first and second, one moto win each in their entire careers.
Good observation, Davey Coombs. On our final lap, Stefan Roncada riding pretty easy as he's got a little lead on his teammate Casey Johnson.
Yeah, it's enough for him to be comfortable, but it is a little lead. Casey Johnson, you see him right back there, has done a great job. Roncada, though, back end kicks a little sideways right there. It doesn't bother him. He's in his zone right now. He's riding extremely well, and you can see there's Casey Johnson. It's a tough rutted section here, and see how much he has to use his body to get through there, but finish is right around the corner. He's already celebrating.
And while he celebrates, Travis Pastrana is trying to celebrate as well, moving past Steve Lamson up into third as we take a look at our leader, heading toward the checkered flag here in our first 125 moto, a can to celebrate. Roncada wins it, but Pastrana, what a job he's done.
Now, coming from double digits up into the third place spot gives himself a chance at the overall. Also, he's on the pace of Roncada, so that sets up could be an awesome second moto duel between these guys.
And Steve Lamson able to hold off Talon Bolin. Let's get down to Davey Coombs, who's with Travis Pastrana. Davey.
All right, Travis, welcome to the show. Podium in your first ever outdoor national.
Yeah, well, thanks. Not podium yet. Podium first race. I'm really excited. My RM is just pulling so good. These hills are gnarly, so it's a lot of fun riding out there.
Tell me about that last lap pass on Steve Lamson. That's a two-time national champion. You caught up to him. What happened?
Wow, well, the whole time I was following him for about the last quarter of the race, kind of catching and losing, and man, I was just so amazed that I was right behind Steve Lamson. I was like, this is kind of cool. And then I squared the corner off just enough to get a little bit more drive, and he was a little pretty nice to me and didn't cut me off the track, so that was nice.
Finally, there's another 35-minute moto in front of you. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel great. I could have got another 20, so hopefully I'm really looking forward to the second moto. I feel like I've been training really hard, and you know, I have a great team with American Suzuki, no fear and acclaim behind me, so I can't wait for second motos.
Casey Johnson's best overall was in 1997. It was a second place right here at Glen, Helen. He's in good position to duplicate it or better that. Let's go back to Davey.
Casey, I got to tell you, what a big surprise. Very impressive ride for a guy who's been sitting on the sidelines for 4 months.
Yeah, it's been a long time off, and I've had a lot of time to think about what I need to do to get ready for the outdoors, and it was a good race. I mean, I got off to a pretty decent start, and Stefan's going so fast right now, and he went by me. And I was pretty much like just follow him and try and get through the pack, and that worked. And then once we got out, you know, 1 and 2, it was kind of like a test out here, and we were just kind of like, you know, just pacing ourselves and looking at the pit board every lap, and everything turned out really good. Hopefully next moto we can put all 3 guys up here on the podium next time.
Good job. It's very good to have you back, Casey.
Thanks, David.
This moto a real testament to the conditioning programs of Casey Johnson and Stefan Roncada coming back from injury. Let's return to Davey now, who's with our winner.
Stefan, right on, man. Way to come up through the pack, get the first moto win of 2000.
I tell you, David, it feels great. You know, I had a very decent start out there. My Yamaha Troy is putting really hard today. Sorry, I got some dirt in here. And it was really hard to come through the pack. You know, the guys are running really strong out there, and I had to give it all I had, and my Yamaha Troy was putting the hill really good, so pretty happy about that.
There was a great battle in the middle there with your teammate Casey Johnson. Did he surprise you at all? Casey's been out for a while.
I didn't even know he was behind me. I thought he was a lapper or somebody. I didn't see him coming. I didn't hear him. And the last 3 laps, I was like, wow, somebody's right there. It's trying to pass me. I'm like, maybe I should get on the gas. And I picked it up the last 2 laps, and I'm pretty happy about the first win.
Coming up the 250s, Jeremy McGrath's lone motocross appearance of the season. He's talking here with Ricky Carmichael. Could there be a passing of the baton? Motocross season opener from Glen Helen Raceway, highlighted by Mount St. Helens, the 500-foot elevation that these riders have to go up and down. The 250s at the gate, getting ready for their first moto of the year 2000. For this week's Suzuki Flashback, let's turn to this young man, a former 3-time GP world champion who finally got his first American title last year. The defending champion, Greg Albertine. After years of struggling on the AMA motocross circuit, Suzuki's Greg Albertine finally broke through in 1999 to win his first AMA 250 title.
Well, I think everybody knows that I paid my dues more than once. And, you know, it really took a lot of hard work and a lot of commitment and dedication to win that championship last year. But it felt so awesome when I finally did. And now I've solidified in my mind that I can do it again. I know I can. I know what it takes. And I'm willing to work that much harder for it and to put the Suzuki at the top.
On February 26th, Albie suffered a setback when he broke his femur at the Atlanta Supercross. But the 3-time world champion hopes the injury will work to his advantage in the upcoming motocross season.
You know, the guys have been racing every single week. They're probably really tired right now. And then to go right into a new championship is pretty tough. And I've had some time to regroup, rethink, and, you know, I feel really good for the outdoors. Our Suzuki is so much better for this year that I think we got a great chance.
Additionally, the South African native will be racing with the confidence that only the #1 plate can bring.
I've been in this position before. I've won in Europe, and people have wanted to beat me really badly. So, and I ended up winning. So hopefully I can turn this around again and win it.
Number 16, John Dowd, riding with a very painful back injury as he came into the season with the injury.
Trying to get that tire hot. You see all those burnouts right there in the cement. These guys will spin it, try to get that rubber tacky.
Taking a look at our starting grid, Albertine, Carmichael in his first 250 National Outdoor, Villeman, and number 2, Jeremy McGrath in his only motocross of the year. Sebastian Tortelli coming from last to first to win a moto last year. Also won the overall here. Ezra Luss coming back from injury. Wyndham and Ward looking to reclaim some glory after very tough Supercross seasons.
Now, Kevin showed us a lot of speed outdoors last year, and Larry Ward told me as long as it stayed overcast today, he thought he'd have a really good chance, and he's done well here in the past, but right now the sun is shining.
Shane King on our grid sheet, a former 500 GP world champion. This time he's riding a KTM. A little bit of breeze down on the track. That'll dry it out big time.
It is starting to cool things off also a little bit, and the track has gotten dry. They put some water on it. The guys had a chance to take a look at that during their warm-up lap. There's Albertine. Seems pretty relaxed, and usually the first moto of the season, you're a ball of nerves because you really don't know how you stack up against everybody until the gate drops and you get a few laps under your belt.
30-second board is up. Albertine, a phenomenal comeback. Recovering from a broken femur, has come all the way back. There's Wyndham, number 14, Tim Ferry, number 15, Larry Ward, number 10, LaRocca, number 5, as we're set to go for the first moto for the 250s in the year 2000. They're off and ready. A great start for Wyndham. Wyndham cuts to the inside. Kevin Wyndham, the whole shot. Shane King, Albertine, Villeman, last year's winner Tortelli, all in the hunt now.
What a start for Kevin Wyndham, and Morocco, I noticed, got a lot of wheel spin off that cement, got closed off right away. I don't see him anywhere in the top 10.
King in second place now on that 4-stroke as the group comes down the hill. Pretty clean start so far.
I still don't see LaRocco, so he must be almost in dead last. That's going to be horrible for him. It's so hard to work your way around the track. A couple of the guys are saying it's a little bit hard to pass because it's kind of fast, and it's going to be tough for him to work his way up.
You notice in that top 5, you had King from New Zealand, you had Albertine from South Africa, you had Tortelli and Villeman from France.
Well, you know, it's going to be tough for an American to win here today. I mean, if you think about the last 2 years, a Frenchman has won both times. And the favorites today, you got Albertine, you got Tortelli and Villeman. I mean, it's up to Wyndham and Carmichael, really, to raise that American flag.
Right now, it's Kevin Wyndham out in front. He looks very determined. Looks like he wants to pull out a lead right away.
He already has, and no question about Wyndham riding skill and his ability to open up a lead, but look at the company here.
Villeman trying to make a move for third place now. There's Ricky Carmichael, number 4.
Boy, Kevin is awesome in this opening lap, starting to pull away, and it's not like King is holding anybody up. I mean, you know, I'm looking at these top riders thinking, although King has been doing fantastic in the World Championship Series, he might be the weak link of this group, but he's not holding anybody up. Kevin's just pulling away.
Wyndham going through that sand section, number 14. Usually when he's had good starts in motocross, he'll end up in the top 3 positions. He had trouble fading, though, when out in front during the Supercross year. King is our leader, but right now King is being tested for second place by Greg Albertine, the defending champion. He makes the move into second. Here comes Villeman now, the next target. Bar to bar, Villeman takes the edge going up the hill against that 4-stroke.
Boy, that's impressive because he's definitely at a power disadvantage, but he had a better line out of the corner, rubbed elbows with him, and look at all these guys coming. What a battle for second.
4-way battle really for second place if you count Ricky Carmichael coming up behind Tortelli.
And Wyndham, hear him coming out of the corner. He's already up the hill with a 5-second lead.
Let's check in with Davey Combs in the mechanics area.
Hey, if you don't think America's become the capital of the motocross world, check it out. Other than Kevin Wyndham out front, the next 4 guys have all won world championships. Shane King, a former 500 champion. Greg Albertine, 3-time world champion. David Villeman, a world supercross champion. And Sebastian Tortelli, 2-time world motocross champion. Kevin Windham, the only American leading the rest of the world right now.
The battle for fourth is on. There's Ricky Carmichael making a move.
No problem on Shane King right there. He hit that wall back there and just pinned it, jumped past him. He's trying to stay with this battle. He doesn't want to let Villeman get away. He was out here practicing with Villeman this week. They got into a lap time war, and he's trying to stay with him because he knows that David is fast.
Albertine, Villeman, and Carmichael in that order. Albertine has only been riding for something like 3 weeks, trying to recover from that broken femur of last year.
Well, I'm not surprised to see him up there right now. I'd be surprised to see him there at the end of the moto with this kind of pressure. Right now, he's holding on no problem, but he's taking some heat. Carmichael really applying the pressure, Art. I mean, he has answered every move. He and Villeman both have worked their way through the pack. Not the best starts, but they're starting to eat into that lead. It's all tightening up to Kevin Windham. The lead he had is shrinking.
Villeman, his first full season in America on a 250. He worked in the 250 World GPs last year just for the reason to ride a full 250 year here in the United States this season. And of course, Ricky Carmichael graduating from the 125 ranks of the outdoor motocross scene this season to the 250s.
Whoa, little mistake there by Albie.
And taking advantage of it to the inside is Villeman. What a move by David Villeman into second place. Ricky Carmichael is on the move behind Albie.
I think they gave Villeman the name the Cobra for the wrong reason. I always think of it as he's always able to strike, make his passes. Let's take a look at how it happens. Albie's going to come into the corner. He gets into these braking bumps. He just hits one a little bit wrong. He can't follow this berm right here, so he's got to go over it and mess here with all this loose soil. Villeman was close enough to take advantage.
Ricky Carmichael trying to be the opportunist now behind Albertine.
So far, every time Villeman's made a move, Ricky's made it too.
And it looks like he's going to try the same. Albie, though, doesn't want to give it up. This Glen Helen Raceway track necessitates some interesting changes to the bike setup.
Glen Helen is a track with a lot of big elevation changes. There's also some huge jumps here. Chad Watts, what are you going to do to set up Ricky Carmichael's 250?
As far as suspension-wise, we'll take a lot of the high-speed compression out so to absorb the bumps. As far as jetting, we're running a little bit leaner setting here because of the altitude. Gearing, we're running a 1450 for overall the heel pull and the good long start. You need to rev out. And as far as like brakes, we're running the same style of brakes, only different when it's muddy. You run a different type of pad. And as far as like pipes, we're running a pro circuit pipe, the same kind all year long, unless the riders want something different.
It's a very dynamic track here. A lot of big hills, like I said, a lot of big jumps, and a long start. We'll see how Ricky Carmichael's KX250 stacks up.
And that's our Kawasaki bike setup for this week.
Look at Ricky just pin it down the hill. Albie closes him off again. I don't think he meant to that time. That was just his line. Ricky all over the place on the brakes. He looks impatient right now to me, Art. He's trying to get around Albie and stay with Villeman. He's starting to open a little bit of a gap now.
Looks like his setup's pretty good.
I don't think he cares right now. I think it's all heart and determination coming down that hill. Bike's bucking him all over the place. Not to say that it's set up bad. He's just pushing it to the limit.
Ricky Carmichael, many feel, rides at about 95% anyway, but has the ability to kick it into another gear.
Looks to me like he's already in that gear. Look at that, right around
outside.
The outside of Albie, no problem. He's in his zone.
Ricky hails from the flatlands of Florida, but he's 6 for 6 on this track.
I like the hills. It's a little on the steep side compared to what I'm used to, but you know, it's fun, something different. It's a pretty fast track. A lot of guys are going fast. It's kind of difficult to make up time, but you know, I haven't had a problem here in the past, so I should be all right.
That's an understatement. In the 125s, he's won 6 motos in 6 tries here at Glen Helen.
He reaches up right there and messes with his helmet again. I don't know what he does. I think Davey asked him about that, and he said he didn't even know. It's just a habit. But he didn't have much time to reach up right there. He was only in the air for a split second.
There's David Villeman in second place, Ricky Carmichael in third. Carmichael, the former 3-time 125 motocross champion with 25 125 wins before graduating. We'll be right back with more 250 action.
So what's on for today?
Boss wants you, me, and Charlie to take the new Silverado and move them bales.
Is that Charlie?
Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup.
Glen Raceway, and we've got a battle going on for first place. Kevin Windham established as much as a 6-second lead, but David Villeman in 934 on the Yamaha has crept up and is challenging Windham now for first place.
This is going to mess with Windham too, Art, because he had a great lead, was pulling away, everything was going smooth. I think he felt like his pace was going to be good enough, but not even close. These guys erased that deficit, and there goes Villeman.
Villeman makes the pass into the lead. Windham settles back into second, but he's got Ricky Carmichael on the move. Well, you can't sit still on this track. Too many good passing areas. And there's Carmichael making the move. Windham from first to third, just like that.
And look how far he's dropped behind Villeman already. That's demoralizing. And I don't see the same intensity in Windham anymore. He just dropped down that hill like very casual. Looked like it was practice.
In front of the biggest crowd they've ever had. And Villeman goes down. Oh, in that sand whoop section. Villeman hits the deck. What a break now for Ricky Carmichael and company.
That was weird. I know that's a tricky section, but what a strange crash. I think that caught him completely by surprise. Watch this. He gets bucked. Looks like his chin hit the throttle. And that's what really forced him to crash. He was a little squirrely, but so what? This is motocross. But look at this. His hand is upside down on the handlebars as he goes to take off, and he'll turn his hand back around, readjust his helmet, grab the handlebar normal.
Good eyes, Bailey.
I noticed everything. Oh, no.
Oh, stalling out. Tortelli. So Tortelli loses second place now after moving up after the Villeman crash.
I'll tell you what, you cannot afford any mistakes out here, and Ricky hasn't made one yet, and he's gone.
Sebastian Tortelli, number 21. He has one national win. That was here last year. There's Ricky Carmichael.
Look at that lead. I mean, that's really just from mistakes. Albie was the only guy that really hasn't made a mistake. He just got passed. Now from other riders' mishaps and Kevin just losing his rhythm, he's gotten back up into second, so it really picked up. It looked like Albie was starting to fade, but he's been smart here, and he's inherited second again.
Can Ricky Carmichael win his 7th moto in 7 tries here at Glen, Helen? His first on a 250. Number 1, Greg Albertine, won the championship, but his worst finish last season was here at Glen Helen, an 8th place start after motos of 6 and 9, and he certainly has improved on that fact if he can hold on to second.
I'm impressed to this point, because this is getting into the part of the moto where you're getting a little bit tired. He's still holding on, holding his own over Kevin Windham still. I think at Carmichael, just he is wide open everywhere. The bike's dancing around a little bit underneath him. It doesn't seem to bother him, though. He hasn't slowed down at all.
Carmichael performing in tremendous form right now, pulling a lead. Let's go down to Davey Coombs, who's with Chad Watts, RC's mechanic.
Chad, you said earlier you were a little bit nervous about the first 250 race. Now how you feel? Ricky just moved into the lead.
I'm still even more nervous now. I mean, we got 39 guys behind us, so, man, I don't know what to say. A little flustered.
What was the expectations coming into this race, being the first 250 national for Ricky and all?
Just to get a good finish. He really had no expectations. He was kind of unknown Thursday, but his lap times have kind of proved itself, so hopefully his endurance is good and the bike keeps working good, and it's a good combo.
A battle going on between Team Honda teammates. And it's Kevin Windham, number 14, and Sebastian Tortelli, number 21, and this is for 3rd place. Tortelli cutting to the inside. Tortelli looks very smooth, David.
Gets the power down to the ground a little earlier than Kevin right there, and that was a weird line. I thought when he went wide, he was opening the door for Villeman back there, but it paid off perfect. And, you know, who can ever forget the ride that Tortelli put in here last year? I never will. Coming from behind, he just made everyone look slow, and pretty much the same type of racetrack, same soil, same types of bumps, the hills. He's obviously comfortable, and he's starting to work his way to the front, Art.
Seems to me it was near last place, if not last place in that one moto when he came back and won it. Tortelli also a first-time winner in a season Supercross opener. Of course, that was the Los Angeles Coliseum.
Yeah, well, he's got some work to do here. Look at Villeman around that outside. That was working in the 125 class.
Villeman moves into fourth behind Tortelli. And Wyndham now continues to go backward.
Kevin is definitely struggling right now. He could be a little bit tight right here. He's talked about that a lot in the Supercross, and the pressure that he got. I mean, I don't know how many times Kevin could keep using that excuse, but he definitely got a lot of pressure.
Whoa, Tyler Evans in the bales.
Well, that's at the bottom of one of those big downhills. That looks like the one after the start. Look at the lead. Carmichael is starting to open up. Albie's still riding strong. He's got a good lead over Tortelli, but Tortelli's moving up.
And look at Villeman right behind Tortelli, the two Frenchmen.
Villeman totally changed his line. He's like, the heck with those ruts. I'm going wide. He's just copying the line of Tortelli and those guys up ahead of him. I think that might be working a little bit better. Get a better run at the double jump.
Villeman, who comes off such an outstanding first year in the 250s and Supercross, is now in fourth place behind Tortelli, Albertine, and our leader, Carmichael. We'll be back. From the 250s in our first moto.
Watch Villeman come in on the outside. Look how close. He's actually got a duck under Kevin. Look at their feet right here. Just up off the ground, skimming right where they want to be. Perfect form by both riders. But Villeman in that little bit faster outside burn makes the pass. And look how scary it got for Tyler Evans. That's ugly. Getting braking bumps, swapping all the way down the hill. Gets into the hay bales. He goes down. Our cameraman backing up. Can't see where he's going. He steps on something. He goes down.
But he kept it rolling.
That's right.
Tyler Evans knew from the very moment at the beginning he was going down. It just was a matter of time. Ricky Carmichael has checked out, but that's not the case here for second place between two former GP world champions. Tortelli trying to hold off Albertine.
That's a little bit of battle of the egos right here. Tortelli winning a world championship. Albie winning 3 of them. But they're still losing time to Carmichael right now. He is so impressive and so fast, and he is actually faster now than he was in the beginning.
And here comes Tortelli, holding on now.
Rut is getting deeper and deeper. You can see those guys fighting. The fork legs are dragging all the way through there. They got to ride on the very toes of their feet.
And we've got to hand it to Jeremy McGrath, number 2.
You know, I've been watching him all day as he's putting the pressure on Kevin right here. He's got a little better line. Yep, it's been working. The guy that's coming around that outside, he gets the inside of the next corner, so Jeremy moves up another spot. And I've been watching Jeremy. I'll tell you what, he's nowhere near the leaders, and that's got to be a little bit disappointing and maybe even a little bit embarrassing for a guy like McGrath. But I have so much respect. He has not given up. He has tried his tail off everywhere around the racetrack, even making little mistakes here and there. It shows me he's pushing as hard as he can.
Jeremy McGrath moving into the top 5.
Look at that bike dancing around a little bit. I don't think anyone had quite as much PR to do coming into this race. I know he wasn't nearly as prepared as he would like to have been.
Well, he's probably only racing the race because his sponsor, Chaparral, lives just a few miles down the highway.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons that he's doing it. You know, I don't think his heart is in it the same as it would be if this were a Supercross.
Just coming off his 7th Supercross championship in 8 years. As we take a look at our leader, Ricky Carmichael, he is still just flying.
You know, I'd like to say flawless, but it's different. I'm going to say spectacular, a little bit on the edge. Flawless would be smooth. There's nothing smooth about the way he's riding out there. He's taking chances. The bike's dancing around. He's actually a little bit scary to watch every lap on the downhill, but it doesn't seem to bother him. He's pulling away and in control.
He's in the final lap of our first moto of the 250s. Stefan Roncada winning the 125 first moto, and Ricky Carmichael on his way of winning his very first 250 moto.
I think Ricky has gotten comfortable with the idea, as he did another little swap back there, that's what it's going to take to win motos. I mean, most guys, I would be uncomfortable with bikes swapping around and taking little chances like he does, but it doesn't bother him, and that's why he's so dominant outdoors.
And the checkered flag for Ricky Carmichael. Well, he's dreamt about this moment, David Bailey.
You can see that. He dropped his shoulders, fist pumped. He knows what this means.
And there's Tortelli, number 21, and Albertine, number 1.
see how close all those guys were, and in fourth, staying pretty close, and we're making a nice recovery, David Velleman.
Ezra Lusk showing us that he's really not up to racing edge speed yet. Let's go to Davey.
All right, Ricky, you came into this race having never lost a moto at Glen, Helen. Move up to the 250 class, the streak continues.
Yeah, it does, Davey. I'll tell you what, Chevy Trucks Kawasaki was working great. I got a great jump off the gate and bogged it down on that start there. It's really plowed up, and had to play catch up. And I'll tell you what, Kevin checked out. I thought it was over, and then David made a mistake, and I got up front and rode my own race.
I got to tell you, it was an impressive one at that. Behind you, you had two world champions, Sebastian Tortelli and Greg Albertine. Were you looking in the rearview mirror at all?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, you have to make sure they're not coming up. And Sebastian was making a charge here, probably 6 laps from the end, and I kept staying strong, and here I am.
Good ride, Ricky.
Number 21, Sebastian Tortelli, had a 1-1 winning this event last year, but he's still, with a second-place finish, in good position for his second consecutive victory here at Glen Helen. Let's go back to Davey.
All right, Sebastian, you came out, you did what you had to do to beat all the 250 guys, but what about Carmichael?
Yeah, he was just, you know, I passed him in the first lap and he passed me back. And, you know, he was a little bit faster than me, so I came back second and all there, you know. I did a little bit mistake, I stole the bike and he pulled away quite a bit and after stayed the same, so, you know, I was trying hard, but he was fast.
Last year you were in control of the 250 Nationals before you got hurt at Unadilla. Is the strategy this year just be consistent, let the races come to you?
Yeah, that's what I think. You know, I just want to make a good start all the time. Now I know I start good in concrete. And I just want to, you know, pick it up slowly and get more speed and more aggressive toward the end of the season.
Number 6, Steve Lampson took the whole shot and the early lead in the first 125 moto. Travis Pastrana put on quite a show. And the rest of the 125 crew, though, found themselves chasing number 26, Stefan Roncada. Their second moto is next.
When Suzuki introduced the original 4-stroke DR 350 and dual sport 350, it rocked motorcycling. Now, it's happening all over again. Introducing the all-new DRZ 400 and DRZ 400S from Suzuki. 4-stroke thunder. On-road or off.
Arm strength, quickness, agility, and body control. The essential elements of the winning defensive baseball player. And with Coach Emanski's Defensive Drills video, you'll learn the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school. The Defensive Drills video features revolutionary training techniques developed by professional scout and instructor Tommy Nansky. Techniques that get results, producing baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams and even a gold medal in international competition. In a recent review, Collegiate Baseball Magazine exclaimed, with Coach Emanski's techniques, the future of baseball is here today. Even top professional players are impressed. Just ask Major League superstar Fred McGriff.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Emanski that I've given them my full endorsement. When you watch them, you'll know why.
The Defensive Drills video is available now for immediate shipping. It makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order your copy, call toll-free 1-800-233-0500. That's 1-800-233-0500. Call now.
The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series.
The race I kind of rode tight and I wasn't flowing too good, but all in all, I mean, it was okay. I was kind of upset with myself, but I got to consider I've been off for, you know, since pretty much Steel City last year, so I'll get back into it. I plan on going out there and winning this moto.
It definitely looked like the Works Connection Honda got you to the first turn quickly. What a great start.
Yeah, everything worked good on it. I mean, the bike's working good. Dan Bentley has been working with me on the motor and stuff, and Cliff White. So we got the thing running really good, and the thing's handling good, and everything should go good, I think.
All right, good luck this time, Steve.
All right, thank you, Davey.
Riders getting ready now. There's Ron Cotta, number 26 on the Yamaha of Troy, and warming up that rubber.
Ron Cotta doing his burnout right there. That matters. That's what you've got to do to get a great start. Now Talon Bolin going with his hand guards. Travis Pastrana using those ever since I can remember. Now Talon's starting to go to him, but drilling holes in him to try to get a little bit of air to his hands. It can get hot back there. If your hands get sweaty, it's hard to hang on.
John Welch in the doghouse will kick the lever to drop the gate, and we'll be underway with the second moto for the 125. Ron Cotta winning the first moto. Can he double up as we're set to go? And they're off and running at Glen Helen. There's Bolin on the inside. Bolin got a decent start. Pastrana, Ricotta, all good starts. But it's Steve Lefton once again with his second consecutive hole shot. The flight must have put that motor together.
Obviously, he can get these 125 singing, and I'll tell you what, you don't get lucky and get 2 hole shots. It takes skill. Lamson is good off the concrete, and he's got the best motor.
Incredible to watch this mass come down the hill at that speed.
How'd you like to be in the middle of that pack?
No thanks.
Yeah, it's scary. It's a little, you can't tell from there, but from those riders' perspective, whoa.
Oh, Brandis! Brandis goes flying! Michael Brandis, number 27, FMF Honda.
It looks like he's okay, but he can't get to the bike. Look at this. He tries to out-jump Lamson. He's trying to make a pass on the outside, hits a braking bump, flies through the air. Lucky he didn't get hit by the bike. That was close. Almost came, well, he did come up on his feet. Watch from here. I mean, they're pulling a G, maybe 2 Gs through that dip coming down the hill, and he's still riding a nose wheelie. That was weird.
Oh, good. He's getting up and walking away.
I don't think there's much left of the bike, but, man, that's great to see him up and walking. That's too bad. He had a pretty good ride here last year and a good start there.
I was going to say, more hard luck for Michael Brandis, really, as we go back now to our battle for first place. Steve Lamson, number 6. And it's Talon Volin who's giving him the challenge. Volin to the inside. Talon Volin takes first place. So Talon, after a 5th place finish in the first moto, he wants all those 25 points for a win.
And I'll tell you what, Talon could not possibly have zigzagged more down that straightaway than he did. He looked to his left, went to his left, cut Lamson off, then he went all the way back to the right, trying to block him. I mean, he didn't really need to. He was faster than Steve all the way down the straightaway. You know, when you pass somebody, you really don't, I don't know if he intentionally, it looked like it to me, but when you block somebody like that, it just makes him mad. You don't need to make somebody mad if you don't have to. And Travis, a much better start this time, and he's ahead of Ron Cotta, so if he can get around Lamson, that'd put him in a position to win the overall.
Ron Cotta having a fight for his life now to get back up with the contenders, as Talon Volin is in the enviable position of being in the lead. He had the points lead after a win in a 2nd place in San Diego in the 125 West Supercross. After winning his heat in Phoenix and looking like a top contender for the title, then he collided with a rider and got hit by a passing bike, and that put him out for the season. But he's one of those kind of guys that just loves to condition. He knows that's the key to this sport. Talon Volin, our leader. 125 action, 2nd moto. Ron Cotta, if you just tuned in, won the first moto, and he's in a battle right here. Number 26 and number 29, their teammates. Casey Johnson in front of Ron Cotta in a battle for 5th. Ron Cotta not with the best start, David.
No, but he's still in a position where you can at least see those guys up there, and the overall is still within his grasp. Catching a leader may be tough, but I think he'd like to put the overall away, and it's within his grasp. He's got to get around his teammate. That could be tough, because Casey Johnson ran his pace the first moto.
Ron Cotta looking for his very first U.S. American motocross overall victory.
Let me not overlook the fact that Casey Johnson has a shot at the overall as well. If he can move up and stay ahead of his teammate, he'll grab it.
So the battle is on between Yamaha of Troy teammates. Let's go to Davey now, who's with Michael Brandis.
Well, Mike, first of all, it's good to see. It looks like you're all right, but man, what a terrible crash. What happened?
I was coming down the hill pretty hard, and they just laid down so much water that when I landed off that, I was trying to push it down by Lamson, and when I hit, landed right on a braking bump. Front end just went away because I landed in a big puddle.
and next thing I know, I'm upside down flying, so tough luck.
Well, tough luck. He's had a lot of tough luck over the last couple of seasons with injuries and incidences that have put him out of contention. Got a lot of potential. Nathan Ramsey, number 24. Number 29, Casey Johnson. And number 26, Stefan Roncada.
All these guys are chasing this battle right here, and what a battle for the overall win today. I mean, Travis has a chance. If he can have a little bit of luck and get around Lamson, he'll get it. If Lamson can stay where he is, he'll get it. So, yeah, there's a lot of drama here.
Talon Volan is still our leader, but this is the battle for second place.
Travis has been right there, but not really close enough to force Lamson into any kind of a mistake. I mean, he came from 12 to catch him in the first moto, so you got to think he's got the speed, but Lamson said he was tight, so here he's apparently loosened up.
Travis Pastrana, quite a story. Plus, just off a successful engagement with Jeremy on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
We have a terrific show for you tonight.
It's going to be neat. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with this. I'd like to hear, because I've been on late, like the Late Late Show before, and everyone's like, hey, I saw you, but like some real people, like a lot of people are going to see this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool being on the Leno Show. I mean, definitely been thinking about it for a while, but not too nervous, I guess. Just go out there and do what I'd love to do.
Travis, what jump are you going to do?
Right now, I'm going to do the heel clicker. That's pretty much the trick, the start of the whole freestyle movement. Just throwing my feet up over the handlebars, try to get as high off the bike as I possibly can.
Okay, well, that sounds safe, certainly. You want to get as high off the bike as you try to stay as far away from the machine as you possibly can.
That's it.
All right, here we go.
Jeremy had an option, they said, who do you think would be there? And, for him to mention my name is just really truly an honor.
I mean, the trick to doing these shows, just go out and have fun. I mean, obviously, this is not a high-pressure event. There's no point. People here are just amazed that you're here.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, whatever you do, people want to see a couple of jumps and see the bikes and just add some action to the show. I mean, I like bikes a lot, so this is kind of fun for me, too. Because there aren't really many motorsports that translate into late-night TV.
Ready, get set, go!
I mean, I've been trying to get on The Tonight Show for like 5 years, It's taken me, 7 championships and 70 wins. So I've finally done it, and, it's a great accomplishment. I'm really proud of it.
There's a lovely cup for you, and of course, Travis, a cup for you as well. There we go. Welcome to the Helen.
Hey, I brought you this.
Is that for me?
Yeah, that's for you.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a replica helmet of one of my race helmets.
And it has my chin, look.
Such a quick wit and so approachable, Jay Leno. It was a great time by all. Travis Pastrana right now in 3rd place in our second 125 moto.
A little surprised to see him look back right there. He seems like he should be charging forward, trying to catch Lamson, and a little bit uncharacteristic, but he really doesn't know what to expect of these nationals. He's probably just trying to see who's back there and what's going to happen with the overall picture.
What a great speed shot that was. Talon Volan continues to dominate here in the second moto. Steve Lamson holding on to second. Another look at Stefan Roncada and Nathan Ramsey.
Just down the inside, Ramsey got caught a little bit wide. And look at this, coming up the hill. Fonseca gets closed off. It looked like he had a run. He got closed off, went down. He actually had to go halfway back down the hill to finally get restarted. That's how steep the hill is.
The 125 riders knowing that the field is open after Ricky Carmichael took the last 3 championships. And here's a guy coming back trying to recapture the glories of the past, Steve Lamson. He's won 2 championships in the 125 action. Right now, he's in a battle for 3rd with Stefan Roncada.
Yeah, that's bad news for Steve because Roncada is on the move, has closed the gap quickly, and Pastrana is already moved around, is chasing Talon Volan, so the overall is between these 3 guys right now, and Lamson's losing time.
Roncada flying through the air. He can smell that first overall victory. And of course, this young man out in front of him has 20 overall victories. 20. The 3rd winningest rider in 125 outdoor history. Here's our Suzuki stopwatch. Let's check it out. Talon Volan, we haven't seen him in a while, our leader.
Travis's gap back to stayed about the same the last couple of laps. These guys are closing.
The battle for third has not hampered their progress toward the leader.
They've actually pushed each other and picked it up. Nathan Ramsey losing a little bit of time, but definitely improving on the first moto finish. Last year here, Ramsey, it looked like he went down. I don't remember exactly what happened, but he came from so far behind in both motos. Not a good way to start the season. A lot better today.
Roncada came back in this season not only in terrific physical shape, but mentally, I think, David. I mean, he's actually having fun on the bike again.
Well, every time you see him, you really can't tell whether he's won the race or lost or where he is in the championship race. He always looks happy. And, you know, when you talk to Travis Pastrana, who's had a successful first season, he's always talking about having fun. In fact, he says fun about 4 times in every sentence. So it's definitely a key to being relaxed out there and having a good time, and Roncada's mastered it.
Roncada, this is a far cry from his 36th and 13th motos of last year here at Glen Helen. David, these shots are showing us an incredible performance for Steve Lamson, since he hasn't had that much competitive experience since his last national.
Yeah, and that's really hard to do. I mean, even without an injury and anything else, to just be out of action and just watch the results and wonder where you fit in. Now he has a chance to find out, and he's got some real challenges today, and he's been able to stay smooth the whole way. Roncada gets a great drive out of that corner, though, gets around him, but I'm still impressed with Lamson. I still feel like he's a major threat to win this championship.
So Stefan Roncada now nails down third place. Ooh, boy, he got sideways in the air.
I don't like it. I don't like starting the beginning of that downhill, coming off that jump sideways like that, but he made a nice correction.
Stefan Roncada in third. Talon Volan is still our leader, and Lamson trying to hold on to Roncada's coattail there. The 3-time world champion in the 125s, Alessio Chiodi, is just coming off a very serious injury, and he's got some problems now. Davey?
As you guys can see down in the pits, the debut of Alessio Chiodi here in the 2000 AMA National Series. Not a good one. Chiodi's pulled in the pits. If I spoke Italian, I'd try to get a message from him or find out what happened. But Chiodi's pulled out. Not a good start for the 3-time world champion.
Chiodi out some 5 months with a broken back and broken wrist. Told me in English before the race that he's about 4 weeks away from really being in some top shape. And one name that we haven't mentioned, David, is the 125 West Supercross champion, Shea Bentley, who has a very bad stomach problem. He caught it in Las Vegas in that final Supercross round.
Yeah, you know what? And he just hasn't fully recovered. He's still hurting today, and not a good debut for him either. So, uh-oh, there's a problem. That looks like Travis.
Travis Pastrana goes down. And Lamson gets by as Travis restarts the bike. And his concerned mechanic, Lee McCullough.
That's too bad, because I think he realizes that Travis had enough time to possibly catch and pass the leader, Volan, and that may have given him a shot at the overall.
Number 63, Greg Schnell, has really turned it up a notch here. He's on the Yamaha, Motor World Yamaha, had an outstanding Supercross season as a privateer, a 2-time winner, and look at that, number 63, edges in front of Way.
And, okay, are we convinced now that that outside line just does not work?
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you can come down that hill with any speed at all on the inside, you got the pass made. And it worked again for Schnell there, who is moving up. He's actually catching Pastrana. Pastrana went down, is running 4th right now, and he's losing time to Schnell.
Checking out the Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series schedule. Southwick, Budds Creek, July 2nd, Buchanan. Then it's on to Union, the season opener. But out front, there hasn't been much action because of this guy. Talon Volan has just taken away with it.
Once he got into the lead, he checked out. I thought Travis had a chance to catch him. He went down, made a mistake. I think he was pushing a little hard, a stupid little tip over the top of that huge hill right there. And after that, he's had a huge lead. Roncada's back there, but not gaining because he knows he's got the overall.
Yes, if it stays the same, Volan with a win here would take 2nd overall in back of Stefan Roncada.
One more time up that giant hill. Gets right into that berm, and I don't know if he's glad he's only going down that hill one more time or if he likes going down that hill, but as they come off that top, they get pretty close to those hay bales.
A good feeling for Talon Volan. keeps him close in points.
Well, anytime you can win a moto, too. Even if you can't win the overall, winning a moto, there's no accident. He had to earn this. He had to ride hard. He has to be in great shape. The bike has to be working, so he knows he has what it takes. It's a matter of being a little bit more consistent and getting a better start. Little mistake he had there in the first moto, too. He went down, but that could have been worse. It was a nice save. Just shows that little mistakes in this class now are going to cost you big.
And at the beginning of the show, we mentioned how many winners we had. 9 different winners in the 125 Supercross action, and expected a lot of different winners here in motocross action. Well, we've had 2 motos, and it looks like 2 different winners already.
And the talent pool is all pretty even and deep, so little mistakes, as I pointed out already, you really can't afford anymore. And it's tougher to get a bad start and work your way up through the pack.
Volan now can sense the checkered flag. And what a great feeling this must be.
It has to be, you know, because last year he ran Carmichael down, passed him, and fell, got second. And this time he's been able to hold on, get this win. Even though it's not the overall, it's going to feel very good.
The checkers for Volan. The pro circuit rider acknowledging the fans as he crosses the line. Roncada, though, with a good second-place finish, will take the overall. Lampson moves up into 3rd, holding off Travis Pastrana. And that 5th-place finish for Greg Schnell is his best moto ever. Let's go to Davey now, who's with our winner, Talon Volan.
Talon, after a tough first moto, fall back to 5th. Way to come out firing in the second moto and get the win.
I was just real glad to get that first moto out of the way. It's been a while since I raced. You know, I got hurt in Houston, so I was a little nervous on that first one, and I made my own errors. I felt I could have won that race too, but that's fine. You know, I was real happy with the race. Don't let it get me down, and come out and win the second moto. I rode a perfect race. I'm really, really happy. Training paid off, so it was everything perfect, good.
Second overall today. Next week you go to your home track up in Hangtown. You got to feel good about the series.
I feel really good about the series. That's great, going to all my home fans. So that's always fun. You know, but this is the first race. It's a long series, so I just got to keep doing the same thing. But I feel real confident and strong. I got a great team I'd like to thank. You know, Split Fire Pro Circuit, Chevy Trucks, Thor Gear, Parts Unlimited, Alpine Star Boots, and Spy Goggles, and Shoei Helmets. The list goes on and on, but without those sponsors, you know, we couldn't do it. And most of all, without the fans, we really couldn't do it. So that's who we're trying to market to, and just it's an all-together thing. It's a great thing, and I just real happy, and it's difficult to speak right now. Thank you.
Alan Volan second in points after the opening round. As you see here, the overall, Stefan Roncada will get the big trophy, and Steve Lampson, in his return to 125s, gets back on the podium. Let's go back to Davey.
Well, Stefan, congratulations. You just won your first national.
Feels great, you know. I almost won my first national a year ago in Troy, and I didn't get it. And this year, for the first one, I'm so happy to win it. You know, my Yamaha of Troy is working great, and I'm happy that I won. It's good for the championship.
I saw between motos you put the new skin on your palm and the Yamaha of Troy Big Rig. How'd it work out?
Yeah, I made the mistake of not putting any skin the first moto, and I got a blister, so I was like, okay, let's put some skin on, and you know, it worked out great, and it didn't even bother me during the moto, so I was pretty happy about that.
It's been a great season for you and the whole Yamaha Troy team. You won 4 Supercrosses, the 125 East Championship. Now you're in the driver's seat for the 125 Outdoor Series.
You know, it feels great. Last year I had all kinds of problems, you know, and I got all my things together, and I wanted to prove this year that I was able to win, and I've been working really hard with my trainer, Alan Gerke, and my Yamaha is working great. You know, everything's going good, and I want it really bad, so, you know, when you want it, you're going to get it. So I'm working as hard as I can to get it, and I'm pretty happy to be where I am right now.
So the happy Frenchman will go to the Hangtown Classic in Sacramento, California for round number 2 with a 6-point lead over Talon Volan. Steve Lampson, what a fine return to 125 action he had today. Travis Pastrana, the new kid on the block, ties him in points and has a great future ahead of him. Next, the 250s, moto number 2. We're back at Glen Helen Raceway for the final moto of the afternoon. All kinds of action packed in the first 3. But right now, the 250s are at the gate. It's moto number 2 to decide the overall here at Glen Helen for the 250s. Ricky Carmichael hoping for his second consecutive moto victory to take away the big trophy. There's Jeremy McGrath. 5th place in the first moto. Probably disturbs him a little bit because this is his only motocross race of the season.
You don't see him have 2 bad motos or 2 bad main events. This guy is usually able to make adjustments, and I'm anxious to see if he can pick it up. He's going to have to.
So Brian Renshaw with the 30-second board. When it goes sideways, it's 5 to 10 seconds, and the gate will drop. They're revving up. We're just about set to go for our moto number 2 from Glen, Helen. It's Tortelli out in front. Sebastian Tortelli, number 21 of Team Honda.
Once again, his teammate Kevin Windham right there. So Honda's got the horsepower this time. Ricky Carmichael's up the inside, challenging Kevin.
And David Villeman in good position. There's Carmichael in second place, number 4. Already making a move on Windham quickly.
Better start for LaRocco. He just came by, and a much better start for McGrath. So maybe he can stay in contact with these guys and try to figure out how they're going so fast.
2 former winners here at Glen Helen. LaRocco winning in 93, McGrath in 96. There's number 21, our leader, Tortelli. Number 4, Carmichael. Albee. Number 2's in good position, McGrath.
He was kind of buried in the pack the first moto. This time he's ahead of Villeman right there. You can see the leaders are all right there. This is right where Jeremy needs to be. He needs to learn. I think if he had the whole shot, I don't know if he learned enough in the first moto to be able to hold those guys off. He had probably a little bit too much pressure, and he's ready to deal with.
Last race of the day, David Bailey. How about that track?
It's terrible right now. I don't mean to, it's in bad condition and they've done a bad job here. They've done a beautiful job, and the track has just had so much wear and tear. It's gotten so rough now that picking lines is going to be difficult. Villeman down the inside. There he goes again. That inside has worked all day. Works on McGrath. But look how rough. The outside there's rougher. The inside's a deeper rut.
And Carmichael cutting in front of Tortelli now. Ricky Carmichael. Wow, what a day he's having.
You know, he realizes how important it is to attack this class and not show any weakness, not wait. There are too many riders in this class now that can challenge. You see McGrath at the tail end of it, just a freight train of talent. Carmichael wants to lead this class and make his presence known right away that he is going to be the dominant figure.
A millisecond losing your focus, though, on this track, and it's over.
And it is as rough as I've ever seen it. That berm right there has gotten so deep. These guys are dragging their foot pegs. Now take a look at this. Tortelli should have just stayed in the berm and taken his line, but he backs out of it a little bit, sensing the presence of Carmichael. Carmichael really didn't have that pass made as far as I'm concerned. Tortelli just backed out a little bit.
And so Tortelli, number 21, now has to pay the price, moving back to second place. He's not letting Carmichael get away, however.
No, he knows that he can't let him get a lead and just reel him back in. He's got to stay as close as he can and just bother Ricky all day. If he stays there the whole time, Ricky will start to worry towards the end. Lappers, you get tired, you lose your focus. And Tortelli's got to stay close enough to be on the mind of Ricky. If you let him go, he can go this pace all day.
This is an amazing track with the soil changes, the elevation. It's steeper than Washougal, faster downhills, lots of passing room. It's such a unique track. And to see these guys battle like they are right now, as Tortelli's starting to pick up a bit on Carmichael.
These guys have raised the bar so high, and in the process, just dropped third.
Sebastian's mechanic is Shane Drew. He's with Davey.
Well, Shane, for as long as you've been working with Sebastian, have you ever seen him get starts like he has today?
No, but he's been doing a lot of practicing on his start, so maybe it's finally paying off.
What about Carmichael, though? You get the whole shot in the second moto. The kid comes up right away on the first lap.
Yeah, well, no doubt Carmichael's fast on the first few laps. You see that in the Supercrosses all the time, but he hasn't checked out on him yet, so I think Sebastian's just biding his time.
All that practicing on his driveway last year must have helped out a little bit, David.
Yeah, and plus the neighbors just love that. I'll tell you what, though, they're probably glad they live next to him. A star like him, a world traveler, world champion, and he's a nice guy.
Wonderful young man. Larry Ward leading this train with Ezra Lusk in second place.
But look at the company he's got. A much better start for LaRocco this time. Lusk is probably trying hard to improve on his first moto performance, so Larry is not off the hook here. A much better start, but he's going to have to ride for his life here to hold these guys off.
6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th in this train. Lusk, number 11. LaRocco, number 5. LaRocco looking for an opportunity to get by Ezra.
He's fighting, crosses over his line right there, loses a little bit of time.
Steve Lamson still in his riding gear. 125 rider looking at the 250s as this battle takes place. Ezra Lusk has moved in front of Larry Ward, and here comes Mike LaRocco. Robbie Rayner's behind Larocco. Larocco just shifts to the inside. A little tiny bump there and accelerates in front of Ward. But look at Rayner coming to the inside. Robbie Rayner having a very frustrating Supercross season, injuring that deltoid nerve muscle, and just had a very rugged time of it.
Trying to come back. I mean, you can see at times in heat races and such, he could get out, get a whole shot, pull away from the best. But, you know, at 4 or 5 laps in, he fades. And here he's got a brand new series. Look at that inside line, gets by Ward. He's been fast. Larocco is moving up through the pack. And as a matter of fact, Larocco had the fastest lap times of the first moto, and Rayner is matching his pace right now.
Out in front, our Honda scoreboard shows it. Carmichael, Tortelli, Wyndham, Albertine, and McGrath in 5th.
Prepare to see something truly brilliant. The future's here, and it's bright.
4th battle between Villeman and McGrath continues. Villeman moves in front of Jeremy this time.
Well, it's heading up into the big horseshoe, and Jeremy has been fighting. I think a little mistake or something by Villeman allowed Jeremy to get back around, but he has been hounding Jeremy. Finally gets around right there, and I think Villeman can sense that the leaders are starting to check out. He knows he can run their pace, and he's got to get by Jeremy to have a chance.
The fans simply thrilled to see Jeremy on the track one more time. It is his only motocross. A guy who has 70 Supercross wins and 15 250 motocross wins. Just great to see him on the track. Let's go down to Davey now, who's with the mechanics.
You're watching Randy Lawrence, Jeremy McGrath's mechanic. Remember, Jeremy McGrath did come in here expecting to win. Last year he did extremely well, but last year it was a different McGrath. Now it truly can be said he is a full-time Supercross rider. He just comes out and does this one race because his sponsor, Chaparral, is located 4 miles down the 215.
I'll tell you what, it's just been little mistakes by Jeremy, like we just saw a moment ago from him, that have really cost him. It could be that he's just trying a little too hard with not enough preparation. I mean, with Jay Leno and golf tournaments, all the PR he did leading into this race, I just don't think he came in as prepared as he really needed to be.
Taking a look at our current leader, Ricky Carmichael, who won the first moto and has led every lap so far of this one. But Sebastian Tortelli not that far away. For this week's Honda Profile, we turn to Sebastian with Leanne Tweeden.
All right, thanks, Sebastian, for inviting us out here with your workout. We want to know, like, how important is working out to racing in Supercross?
Workout is very important because instead of only riding, you work out at the gym and make your muscle maybe a little bit stronger. At least when you get on the bike, it's a little bit easier. Like you don't get tired as fast, and you just have more power to, you know, if something happens, you can fight with the bike.
Well, not only do you work out, you have a personal trainer that's actually here with us today that's working you out. What's the advantage to having him?
I think it's always better to have somebody with you because, you know, sometimes you just push you a little bit. You know, one day you are tired and you don't want to do too much.
Right.
And, you know, that
you have a trainer.
You know, that happened like to everybody.
Right.
And to have a trainer, you know, that just like keep you going and keep you work. That's very good.
All right, Sebastian, now that we're pretty good and warmed up, tell me, what does your daily workout consist of?
Leanne, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Go work out. After warm up, we do just the chest, you know, just because we're loosening up the legs first, and now we start the chest. So we do 10 reps, and that's for the
upper body.
Upper body.
So you're pretty flexible too?
Yeah, I try to be.
Right. Well, I think that's an important thing that a lot of guys don't stretch out as well.
That's, you know, stretch out is very good because when you crash, you just can, you know, your body is just like going around and make it easier.
Well, thank you, Sebastian, for taking me through your workout today. I'm so glad it's over.
No, it's not over. We didn't
What?
finish yet. You forget about the run.
A run?
Yeah, run.
Oh my God, I don't think I can do it.
Well, Sebastian's doing it. He's hanging on to Ricky Carmichael, and Carmichael's got a challenge on his hands.
I'll tell you what, I know Carmichael trains, but I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say I don't think he trains as hard as Tortelli. You can look at their bodies and kind of see that. But right now, Tortelli is pushing him, and he is forcing Ricky Carmichael to dig deep, and it's all hard at this point.
So far, Carmichael has not made a crucial mistake, as Tortelli's been pressuring him now for at least the last 5 laps.
Now, I think what's happening here is they're both going as fast as they can, and they've got an even pace. You see it a lot in car racing. You know, you just don't gain a second here and a second there. It's a 1/10 of a second, or you get lucky, or it's a pit stop. Here, there's no pit stops. You just get a pit board. That's it. You've got to go the distance. And when I think you're going to see a fluctuation in this lead is when they get into lapped riders or if Ricky cracks.
Incidentally, this is the battle for the overall. If Ricky wins his second moto, he takes the overall. But if Sebastian comes back, he'll win the overall with a 2-1.
And Kevin has done a much better job this moto. No, he's not on the pace of the guys out front, but he has pretty much stayed the same gap behind him in third. He's held everyone else back there. He's definitely taken care of the rest of the pack, which is a lot more than he did in the first moto.
A strong performance from Kevin Windham, number 14.
I think the first moto, he was just probably mad at himself, or he might have got a little bit of a verbal bashing in the pits. Who knows? But he definitely didn't ride up to his potential. He had the lead. He had a big lead, as a matter of fact, and lost it. Here he has definitely picked up the pace.
So out in front, we've got Carmichael and Tortelli pretty close to one another. And then here in third, Kevin Windham with Greg Albertine behind him, should he make a mistake. Albertine's a phenomenal story. I mean, if he finishes like he is right now at 3-5, it's so much better than his championship season in his opener last year.
He's got to be happy with the way, you know, starts definitely help, but I'm looking at the fact that he came into this race with a serious injury, not 100%, and his result is much better than last year. That's impressive.
Our Suzuki trivia question: which rider won Glen Helen in '98? The answer in a moment.
Ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape? I've got a free video you're gonna love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You gotta eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with Bowflex.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism.
Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
Brett Ho, Oscar De La Hoya, Tiger Woods. It's 3Play at ESPN.com. You log on, you register, and every day you get 3 new athletes. Then whoever gets the best stats wins some serious scotto.
Ken Griffey Jr., Alonso Jr., a filly in the 9th named Jr.
3Play at ESPN.com. It's free, it's sports. Give me the briefcase. It's money.
Welcome back, and the answer to our Suzuki trivia question: which French rider won Glen Helen in '98? It wasn't Tortelli, that was '99. It was Mikel Pichon with a 5-1. Mikel now back with the GP motocross circuit in Europe as we take a look at our leader, Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael still has Sebastian Tortelli behind him, but Carmichael has been able to step it up and keep it at a high pace.
He's had to, because Tortelli has stepped it up. There goes Carmichael again, reaching for his helmet. He does that all the time, doesn't even know why. It's just a habit. But Tortelli has picked it up, and it's forced Carmichael to pick it up. That's what you have to do. Even if Tortelli can't win this moto, you've got to test Carmichael and find out. Call his bluff.
There's Jeremy McGrath, number 2. And Mike LaRocco starting to make a move on Jeremy.
Now, Jeremy was all by himself the whole time after Villeman got around, riding his tail off. LaRocco caught him. Anxious to see if Jeremy can hang with him now, because LaRocco is closed about a second a lap. He really had to pin it on the downhill. Took a little bit of a chance, got up next to him right here on the inside. And compared to the other berms at the bottom of the downhill, the inside one here seems to pay off, and LaRocco found it, made the pass on Jeremy. Now I'm anxious to see if Jeremy can hang.
It's going to be interesting to see where Jeremy hangs his hat next year. His contract with Mazda Chaparral Yamaha is up this season. He's got to have a lot of options after another championship year in Supercross.
Sure, 70 wins, 7 championships in 8 years, an appearance on Jay Leno. You know, he could take the sport even to another level. Robbie Reynard has hung with LaRocco. As LaRocco has made his push through the pack, Reynard has been there the whole way, and I can't remember too many times where Reynard has been able to find his way around McGrath, and I don't think McGrath wants to start his summer vacation getting passed by Robbie.
We've got a battle going on right now. David Villeman wants 4th position, and Greg Albertine currently is there, but Greg is going to have to step it up another notch. He's been in a fairly comfortable pace, David.
Well, I think he thought he had 4th nailed down because Villeman was pretty far off the pace a few laps ago. He stepped it up, and as he pointed out, if Albie doesn't pick it up, he's going to lose the spot. That's going to hurt him in the overall. It's points for the championship. Albie doesn't like to get passed. But I got to wonder how much fitness he has coming back from that femur. Villeman has the endurance, and he proved it right there. He gets around.
Albertine doing some slipping and sliding on the inside, and Villeman takes to the outside and moves into 4th.
Yeah, Villeman has definitely been, oh, that could have been ugly. What a save. Tyler Evans went down there the first moto. We showed that, and that could have been the same thing. And watch Albie. He gets into the berm right here. He tries to cut out early. I don't know if that's the best idea. I don't know if he meant that or not. He probably wanted to stay in that berm right there. Try to get all that power. Watch, he'll slide a little bit. Look at Villeman, just in a beautiful power slide, almost a wheelie. You know he's getting full traction. Easy pass.
Villeman in 4th place. He's had a good afternoon. Good start on the season for David Villeman.
Well, think about that. He's having a great afternoon, a good start on the season, and he's 4th. So that just goes to show you how much competition there is here in this 250 class. And I don't think he's going to be happy with the afternoon. He's ridden well. I haven't seen any real problems. It's not like he's off the pace, but a crash in the first moto, and took him a little while to get going here in the second moto, battling with McGrath.
There's a huge difference between the U.S. tracks and the European tracks that Villeman is used to. We asked him about the hills here at Glen Helen.
Come down because ours are bumps, and you go so fast, and it's very easy to get to make a mistake, and it's pretty scary sometimes. But that's good for me. It's new. When something is new, it's always very exciting. So I'm very excited to be here.
Well, he certainly made an exciting Supercross season prior to this series out of it with 4 wins, 12 podiums, 2nd in points. His worst finish was only a 6th at Pontiac, Michigan.
That was from a terrible start. So the guy has definitely improved over the season, but tell you what, you can't afford any mistakes if you're planning on beating Carmichael, because he is on his game and confident for the outdoors. We talked about at the top of the show, Daytona was a little bit of a preview, and he is cashing in on that right now.
Our second round telecast will be Saturday, June 3rd at 3 p.m. from the Hangtown Classic in Sacramento. Meanwhile, Ricky Carmichael, who's never lost a moto here on this track, goes for 8 out of 8 when we return.
So what's on for today?
Boss wants you, me, and Charlie to take the new Silverado and move them bales.
Is that Charlie?
Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup.
Then we gotta water the herd.
300 horses make it more powerful.
If there's any daylight left, we'll take Norm up to see the ladies.
More powerful than Ford and Dodge. That's why it's the truck. Silverado from Chevy.
Well, guess that's enough for today.
All I need, man, is me, my Suzuki Intruder LC 1500, the open road, and bam, I'm gone. Okay, me, Intruder, windshield, yeah, the open road, and bam, I'm gone. All right. Me, my Intruder, windshield, saddlebags, freedom, man, bam, I'm gone.
The powerful, comfortable Suzuki Intruder LC 1500. Imagine the possibilities.
Here it is, me, Intruder, windshield, saddlebags, running lights, backrest, a supermodel, a pepperoni pizza.
It's Soccer Saturday on ESPN2. Moreno and the United will be looking to avenge a disappointing home loss when they battle Dante Washington and the crew in Columbus. DC United Columbus, Saturday at 8 on ESPN2.
The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on 2 wheels. Performance first. And by Suzuki. maker of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Time winding down here at Glen Helen Raceway in our second 250 moto, and it's just been a magnificent performance. A great afternoon for number 4 from Team Kawasaki, Ricky Carmichael.
I'll tell you what it looked like to me, Art, and just watching Ricky, about a lap ago, Tortelli was pretty close. It just looked like Ricky got mad. I mean, he came by us and just pinned it. Looked like he was just having a tantrum out there. He almost didn't even let off through the turn. It seemed like he just opened that gap right back up. Finally broke the spirit of Tortelli, but Tortelli pushed him.
It's amazing he had anything left from the way he was coming down the hills earlier in the race.
Oh, he's been on it all day. And you know what? I think confidence at times, well, I don't think, I know. Confidence and believing in yourself means a lot. And Ricky is very sure of himself outdoors. A little bit sketchy indoors, not totally confident he'd go out there and beat McGrath, but outdoors he knows he can beat these guys. You see him looking over, he knows he has finally made Tortelli say uncle and put him away.
Well, he's never been greatly fond of California tracks to begin with.
Oh, he told me, you know, in fact, he's going to take all this confidence to the next round at Hangtown. And, you know, he told me he doesn't even really like that track very much, but wait till we get back east. He goes, I'm going to kill these guys. And, well, today's any indication. You got to believe him.
Sebastian Tortelli has to be smart, though, in the way he reacted. He gave it all he had, but didn't go over the edge enough to blow the points.
No, he was smart. He's looking at the series, and he feels like, you know, he's going to be there at the end. But I'll tell you what, you cannot underestimate Ricky. I did that with Rick Johnson back in 1986. I said, well, he's going to get out of shape and throw one away, and I'll get those points back. You can't get them back when you got a guy winning motos like Ricky's capable of.
A dramatic afternoon for Ricky Carmichael, winning both motos. He's led every lap of this second moto, and he's headed right now for his first checkered flag in 250 motocross action outdoors.
Well, you know what? He's 8 for 8 here at this track, and it doesn't matter what they do to it. Change it, forwards, backwards, it doesn't matter. He is perfect at this place, and there comes Tortelli in second. A pretty smart ride, but he can't afford to let Ricky get too many of those moto wins.
And a good third-place finish for Kevin Windham. Villeman in 4th. Albertine rounds out the top 5. Jeremy McGrath finishing with a 7th. Let's go to Davey now.
Sebastian, you went out there and did exactly what you had to do. You got the good start. You're right there at the end. But what about Carmichael?
Yeah, I mean, he's running very fast. You know, I'm not surprised by the speed. I was expecting him that fast, you know, and he's running fast. You know, I was trying hard, but we stayed together a long time, and he pulled away at the end, you know. So, you know, the championship is long, and I'm going to try to stay up there all the time.
Good job on second today.
Thank you.
Tortelli in second place with the 2-2. Ricky Carmichael, the big trophy, though, the overall victory. Villeman steps up on the podium with a 4-4. Albertine and Kevin Windham rounding out the top 5. Let's get back to Davey with our big winner.
Well, Ricky, man, the only thing I can say is, wow.
I tell you what, Sebastian was on my tail. Not much, man, that guy was on it, and it was just, I had to keep going and keep going. I couldn't let him know, you know, that he was getting to me, or else he would have got by me. And he rode a great race, and I started to pull away a tad bit, and the lappers got in there, and he closed back up. I was like, oh no. And then I seen that 3 laps left, and I'm like, I got it now. And the streak goes on at Glen Helen.
That's right, 8 in a row here. What is it about this place?
I don't know. I mean, being an East Coast guy, it seemed like I wouldn't do good here, but I'll tell you what, I've always had good luck here, and I'm glad to keep the streak alive.
Congratulations, Ricky.
Thanks, Davey.
So the motocross gang goes to Sacramento next, with Ricky Carmichael holding a 6-point lead on Sebastian Tortelli. Albertine, Villeman, and Windham rounding out the top 5. In fact, let's hear from Windham.
Kevin, good job today, especially in the second moto.
Yeah, this morning I was nervous, and second moto I rode good. It just wasn't quite as good as you know, Ricky and Sebastian. I know Ricky, and well, especially Sebastian, with the way he rode here last year, going 1-1. I knew he was going to be strong coming into the day, but you know, last year I fell here, came away with 3 points, so I feel like I'm doing a lot better and a lot further ahead of myself than I was last year at this time.
What can you do to work on those nerves?
They're over. I mean, the second race I rode fine. I just really, I wasn't capable of going the same speed as them today. They were going really fast, and I think this track favors them both, and we'll get to some of the back east tracks, and hopefully they'll favor me a little more, and let's just see where we can go. Keep this Honda on two wheels and keep charging.
And so the opening round of motocross for the year 2000 is now history, and a bright page of history for not only Ricky Carmichael, who swept the 250s, but also number 26, Yamaha of Troy, Stefan Roncada, who took the overall victory in the opening 125 event. For defending champion Greg Albertine, he's in good position, as is David Villeman, to continue the season. There were ups and, of course, a few downs, like we see here with Michael Brandes. Art Ekman, along with David Bailey and Davey Coombs, thanking you for being with us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Monday, we pay tribute to those who made this country what it is. Ordinary people who fought and sacrificed to make the world a better place. Heroes whose deeds and actions made us independent and have kept us free. On Sunday, we enjoy a little piece of that freedom and celebrate what could be the most prestigious day in racing. Coming up on RPM tonight, the thunder of guns, long silent, is replaced by the roar of engines. We celebrate the heroes of races past as the spirit of Speedway greats is passed down to a new generation who will etch their name on the list of racing legends. What moments will be memorialized in racing lore? Find out who will make racing history on RPM tonight, next.
Going green this time by, going green this time by. Bring them down.
Hi there, glad to have you with us on RPM tonight. I'm Reese Davis. Well, you had to wait more than 3 hours on rain at the Indy 500. You had to wait all day for the Cup race to start and survive 600 miles plus a rain delay at Charlotte. We're not going to make you wait any longer. Let's go to Charlotte. Well, Cup racing, Coca-Cola 600. Jerry Nadeau passes the pole sitter Little E to take the lead. Lap 79, a little trouble. Little E's teammate Steve Part loses his backside, and I think we all know how painful that can be. Brought out the first caution. Barney Fife, nip it in the butt. You read any book you want to on the subject of car racing, and they're all in favor of butt nipping. Here in the caution, Tim Fido in the 43 car, replacing John Andretti, who has some broken ribs. A bit later on, Robert Presley. Scott Pruitt's caused enough of his own trouble this season. Now Presley helps him. Thank you very much, Mr. Presley. Pruitt to the inside wall. It brought out the third caution, and then all lightning and super Doppler not looking promising. Lap 157. Baza! Little E up on Dad. He passes him. Dad in a funny colored paint scheme car. Winston Cup officials keep an eye on the weather. Read to somebody picnicking. Lap 222. Little E into the pits. Bobby Labonte stays out. He's in the lead for now. Lap 250 starts to trickle. Not Dick trickle, just a little trickle of rain. Bobby Labonte and Earnhardt Jr. would come into the pits, giving up the lead. Jerry Nadeau. Oh, a gambler Jerry Nadeau is. He stays out. He inherits the lead. And then the rain starts to fall. At 254, they're past the halfway point. Nadeau thinking, they watch this thing out. I've got my first Winston Cup victory. Everybody heading in. Red flag's going to come out. Fans getting in a giant baggie for sport. Drivers, a little quality time on a holiday weekend. Father-son chat. Tony Stewart strapping in, getting ready to restart this thing. Robbie Gordon back from Indy. Going to hop in his car. That Burger King drive-thru was awfully slow. Maybe he should have just gone in the restaurant. Actually got penalized and had to sit there a while. Gary Nadeau went into the pits. He had to give up the lead. So after the delay, Dale Earnhardt Jr. building the lead and checking out as he did in Texas. Lap 307, Ken Schrader into the wall of voodoo. That brought out the caution. Now on the restart, we're going to hop aboard with a Little E. Little E would get next to his buddy Matt Kenseth, and here comes the 8 car. 8 car, woo! Bud Car into the lead, true. Lap 360, Jerry Nadeau had been running well throughout this race, and suddenly he was not Nadeau, he was Nate Dunn. problems with the machine, that'll get you beat. 7th caution comes out. Leaders come into the pits. This is where Little E struggled, but Bobby Labonte and Kenseth, they're out of there quickly. Jeff Gordon took only 2 tires. Gordon's out of there first. Earnhardt drops all the way back to 6th. Speaking of Little E, after the restart, Bobby Labonte on 4 fresh tires, fresh rubber, they like to say on the circuit, gets by Gordon, who only had 2. 27 laps to go, and here comes the rookie, Matt Kenseth. Looking inside of Labonte, passing him. Matt Kenseth said he knew he wouldn't win in California, but maybe he didn't have those negative thoughts this time. He wins at Charlotte, the 11th different winner this season. The guys that worked hard, you saw celebrating. Kenseth, his first career win. That's 2 in a row for the Rooks. Labonte second for the 3rd time this season. The 3 Dales were next. Capital E's best run at Charlotte since '97. Just Mike Skinner's 3rd top 10. Gordon had won 3 of the last 6 at Charlotte. And how about this? Burton and Martin, 2nd and 3rd on their own team. They finished behind Matt Kenseth, who becomes the first rookie to win the Coke 600. He spoke with Matt Yoakum.
For the 3rd time since 1994, the Coca-Cola 600 brings home a first-time winner Sunday night. It was Matt Kenseth. Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot. I don't hardly know what to say. I'm surprised.
Coming up next from Prairie City near Sacramento, California, it's AMA U.S. Championship Motocross. Hello, everyone. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs bringing you the action from round 2 of the Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series from Prairie City SVRA Park near Sacramento, California. It is a blistering day for these riders. In the 125 division, Stefan Roncada, the overall winner in round 1, has a 6-point lead on Talon Volan. Pastrana and Lamson in 3rd. Let's go to Davey, who's with a guy with a new cast.
One of the most impressive rookie debuts we've seen in a while came last week at Glen, Helen with 16-year-old Travis Pastrana. But the thing is, it came with an injury. Travis, what happened?
Well, I was just riding up on, I was in 2nd place in the 2nd moto, feeling like I was riding really well. You know, my Suzuki felt great. 5 laps to go, and I just fell over on the top of Mount St. Helens going no more than 5 miles an hour, and I just hit just wrong, and it ended up tearing some ligaments through my hand and into my wrist. So doctor recommended I ride with the cast again.
How hard is it to ride with the cast?
It's not actually as bad as Supercross. With the outdoors, you know, you're not on and off quite as much, so it goes a little bit further up my wrist, and I don't have full motion, but you know, I feel pretty much 100%. Whatever I place, it's not because of the cast. It's a little painful, but when you're riding, you usually don't feel too much. So just go out there, give it my all, and you know, I got to try to get some top 5s here, and then hopefully when it goes back East Coast, start putting in hopefully some victories.
So there you have it. A 3-4 last week for Travis Pastrana with an injured thumb. We'll see if he can do better this week with a cast.
Every rider goes through growing pains. Just ask Nathan Ramsey right here, who had an injury-riddled Supercross season. But it looks like Travis Pastrana's having it all in 1 year. Very relaxed Talon Volan as we go to the Suzuki starting grid. Ron Cotta leading things off with Talon Volan, a pro circuit Kawasaki Pastrana. And then the guy who's coming back to his home track, Steve Lamson, who has 3 of his 20 wins right here on this track. Casey Johnson, 5th overall at Glen Helen. Ernesto Fonseca out of Costa Rica. Nick Way hoping for a better performance, as is Justin Bucklew, who was 9th overall in the series opener. As we take a look at the rest of the field, Brock Sillards, Nathan Ramsey, Michael Brandis, Casey Lytle, all these guys hoping for better performances here in round 2 and kind of get back on track, David Bailey.
Speaking of track, Art, it's completely different here for round 2. There's still some hills out here and some off-cambers, but nothing like Glen Helen. And Talon Volan and Steve Lamson are ready to duel it out. Kind of the hometown track for both of them. Taking a look at it, you see after they go off the start and make a right, they go up and have a little switchback up there at the top. They've added some whoops in other spots, but for more, let's take a ride around this racetrack with Davey Coombs.
Now we're in the S-turn. Tell by my voice, it's pretty rough and slick. Here's where the track starts to open up a little bit. Go in the back. They got sand everywhere, which is kind of awkward. Down beneath is hard pack. Short little double here. Roll the outside. Now we're coming up on the whoop section. The weird thing is, they're not real peaked like Supercross loops. Outdoor loops tend to be a little harder sometimes. They get rutted. You have to single through like that. Every now and then lift your wheel over. Now here's that big downhill double. I'm not going to jump it, but this guy will. See how far it is.
All right, Davey's going to be in shape by the end of the season. I can tell already. And warming up the tire. You know that you always worry a little bit that you're going to burn some of the knobs off and suffer out there on the racetrack just to try to get a good start. But all the guys seem to do it. You've got to heat that tire up to get off of cement. And most of the races this year are going to have a cement start.
Our race format, 125s and 250s, running 2 motos each, and the overall winners determined by how the rider places in those 2 motos. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. A grueling assignment considering the heat here in Sacramento today. Moto number 1 of the 125s off and running. Casey Johnson, Ron Kotick, good starts from the outside. Looks like Horton getting held up there for a while. But it's Stefan Roncada, the winner of the first round, taking the lead after the hole shot. His teammate Casey Johnson in second, number 199. Travis Pastrana is in third. Justin Buckaloo, Greg Schnell, number 63 on the independent Yamaha. There's Talon Bowen going through the picture, so he's in good shape anyway. Steve Lamson just to the left of the picture there.
Easy to pick him out because of his single digit, first of all, and he's got that little sign flying on the back of his helmet that separates him from everyone else on the track. Not a good start for Steve, considering he got full pole shots at the opening round, but he's up there pretty close, and he's always done well here, so he should be able to carve his way to the front.
Here's Ron Kotick, who did not ride at Sacramento last year because of injury. His best placement here in Sacramento was an 8th place back in 1997. But he's changed a lot of things. He's getting some pressure right now. That's Casey Johnson and Travis Pastrana for second. And Pastrana makes the inside move on Casey Johnson into second place. That cast obviously not bothering him here in the early going. Headed for those difficult whoops that Davey was talking about. And oh, look at that. Travis Pastrana goes down. Gets up quickly like he doesn't have a cast on the wrist.
But he stalled the engine, trying to get going right there. Look at all the riders going by. Take another look. He jumps in 3. Good timing. He tries to let the back wheel touch and hop over this one here. He cases it, though. The frame drags, just throws the back end out from underneath him. He tried to hold on to the last second, but how hard can he hold on with the cast? I mean, he really had no chance to save it.
Boy, that was a rough crash, just trying to hold on as Stefan Roncada still in the lead with Casey Johnson in second place. Justin Buckaloo's in third. That's a great race so far for Buckaloo. Roderick Tane on the KTM in fourth, and Sellers moves into fifth. Pastrana in 22nd.
Meet Carlos Sandoval, veteran Navy SEAL, trained to go through anything, equipped to survive it. Introducing the Chevy S10 Survival Pack. CD, automatic, air, aluminum wheels. Over $1,300 in savings and $1,250 cash back.
You might think all that comfort could weaken a Navy SEAL.
Fat chance. Chevy S10, like a rock.
With a Suzuki RM under you and Team Suzuki behind you, there will be absolutely nobody in front of you. Just ask Suzuki's Greg Albertine, 1999 AMA 250 Motocross National Champion.
If you have thinning hair, you can get this hair loss research update free by calling 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now.
I love my hair.
and I can't believe how simple the process is. It's quick, it's easy, it's painless, there's no surgery. And what I love about it is I can do whatever I want every day. I can go swimming, I can play sports. You won't believe it until you try it yourself.
You can get this hair loss research update free by calling 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now.
The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on two wheels. Performance first. And by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Continuing Moto 1 of the 125s from the Hangtown Classic. Stefan Roncada still our leader. In fact, it's a 1-2-3 Yamaha sweep if it stays this way. Talon Bolin in 5th place. Talon had a great second-place finish here last year, winning his very first national moto in the first moto and taking second in the second frame.
Well, he won that first moto and beat Ricky Carmichael to do it. So I guarantee you he knows he's got the speed and he's probably a little impatient right now that the leaders are starting to pull away.
More bad luck for Ernesto Fonseca.
We've got 3 Yamaha Troy riders out front, but you see the 4th rider, Ernesto Fonseca. He's got no back brake. Kenny Germain, see what he can do. This moto's over for Ernesto. All he can salvage now is a few laps of practice on the track. Get ready for the second moto.
Look at that. That's kind of been the story of Fonseca all year. He can't even get back on the track right.
Here's the battle for third. Justin Buckaloo and Roderick Tane on the KTM. Tane starting to apply the pressure now on Buckaloo. These two guys finished real close together in the opener. Tane, who makes the pass on the inside. Here comes Talon Bolin next. Talon Bolin looking for the opportunity against Justin Buckaloo. I was going to mention that Tane took an 8th, Buckaloo a 9th, and Talon Bolin, of course, took second place in the opener.
Bolin makes the inside and that roof section work. That's what Travis Pastrana was trying to do in the opening lap. Just got a little bit ahead of himself. So no problem for Bolin making the pass. He's working his way to the front, but he's losing a little bit of time to the leaders.
Roncada is setting a blistering pace out front. Talon Bolin is having to ride on the edge to try to catch up.
Now, how can you tell that? Because he always looks like he's on the edge to me. This guy tries so hard. Doesn't worry. It's a little bit like Carmichael in the 250 class. He just pins it, the bike wobbles and dances around, and doesn't really seem to bother him much. As long as he's going fast and gaining time, that's the main thing he focuses on.
Well, Tane is holding him off fairly well. Tane having a very good first full season in America. He didn't qualify for the first Supercross, but finished in the top 10 in all the rest. Even led 5 laps in Houston, finishing 3rd in that one in the Supercross Wars. So number 120, the young Frenchman, is not as heralded as some of the Frenchmen, but he's doing a good job on that KTM.
He has really impressed me at times, in both indoors and now out. The KTM's got a lot of horsepower. I think that Bolin is finding that out right now as he tries to stay close to him out of these corners up the hills. He's not able to gain at all. Plus, that KTM seems to track pretty good through these slippery corners.
Well, Talon Bolin is right in the thick of things in the points race. His teammate who won the 125 West, Shea Bentley, is still on the shelf. He had a stomach problem in the last Supercross race in Las Vegas, and it still has not cleared up. They don't expect him till Millville, maybe.
That's really too bad, because here's a guy that had to be considered as one of the contenders for this class, the #1 plate indoors, and can't even ride right now. Look at that inside move. I didn't think there was room, but he just found his way right to the inside and forced Tane wide. Watch him cut to the inside. This line's been working for him. That's what Travis was trying to do. I already mentioned that earlier. That inside, though, I believe is going to be the hot line throughout the day.
Talon Bolin, a veteran of the GP wars, before coming back to America last year. FMF brought him over, and then he switched to the pro circuit for this season. Our next telecast of the Motocross Wars comes from Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, Saturday, June 10th. Hope you can join us.
Loudon Motorsports is proud to announce that they now feature Suzuki motorcycles and ATVs.
They have great products. They have wonderful on-off-road bikes. They've got great four-wheelers that are perfect for anything and everything you need to do around the farm or just playing.
Expanding the business, Loudon Motorsports now carries all the Suzuki Cruisers, sport bikes, motocross bikes, dirt bikes, and all-terrain vehicles. You've got to visit the showroom with all the flashy 2000 model Suzukis, including the GSXR 750 sport bike. Visit Loudon Motorsports and Power Equipment in Leesburg on Catoctin Circle.
Everything you need to hit the slopes or the pavement.
Oh, Oscar de la Hoya, Tiger Woods.
It's 3Play at ESPN.com. You log on, you register, and every day you get 3 new athletes. Then whoever gets the best stats wins some serious scotto.
Ken Griffey Jr., Alonso Jr., a filly in the 9th named Jr.
3Play at ESPN.com. It's free, it's sports. Give me the briefcase. It's money.
We're back at the Hangtown Classic. While we're away, a couple of developments. One, very sad development for Christopher Gosler, number 55 in the Amsoil Honda. He went crashing very, very hard. Here's a kid who premiered getting a hole shot in his very first national outdoor at Washougal last year, but then abruptly crashed and has had trouble staying on 2 wheels the whole time. We hope he's okay. Now, another development while we're away. Talon Bolin passed Casey Johnson into second place. Here is the battle now with Casey Johnson and Roderick Payne.
It looks like perhaps the heat is starting to affect Casey Johnson, or he's just not riding up to his capability right now. Maybe these other guys are just going a little bit faster, but Tane has a shot at him.
This is the battle for third. Casey Johnson trying to hold off Tane. As you see, Roncada, Bolin, Johnson, Tane, and Buckaloo are top 5.
This might be a little bit frustrating for Johnson right now to have had a look at his teammate Roncada out front. They started right together, but he's lost time every lap of this moto. And although he's still running pretty strong, he's running third right now. You know something? We don't really ever give him credit. I mean, we don't look at him as one of the guys, one of the contenders. We tend to talk about everybody else. And if you notice, when he's healthy, he gets a little bit of consistency in his ability to go out and race races. The guy's fast. He can win motos. He can win overall. He's led the 125 Supercross Championship before. He just has a tough time staying healthy. When he does come back, he's trying to make things happen, and sometimes a little bit inconsistent.
Had one of his best finishes last year in an injury-plagued season, a 4th place here at the Hangtown Classic with a 4.8 in the 2 motos. He had a 4th place in 98 here and a 5th place in 97, so he's been consistent here at Hangtown.
And he's reaching back here a little bit right now because he's starting to pull away. The last lap through here, Tane was right on him. I thought Tane was going to get him, as a matter of fact, and Casey just turned it up a little bit more, trying to test. Just a bluff. It's all in the head right now. You got to start challenging. You're done physically. You're tired. Now it's just what you're made of.
Payne zipping by us on a terrific shot as he tries to catch up. Now the Suzuki stopwatch. Let's check out to see some intervals now with Roncada, our leader. And look at the lead he has. At least 7 seconds on Talon Bolin. There's Casey Johnson about 11 seconds back, and then Tane 13 seconds back. Just a little bit over the halfway mark, David. Roncada has to be alert, but he's got a nice lead.
It's a nice lead, but 7 seconds over a guy like Bolin, who's fast here, who won the first moto last year, a guy who can beat Ricky Carmichael on this racetrack, is not enough. It's hot. I don't know if Roncada has the same reputation and is doing well in the heat as Bolin does, so he needs to keep it pinned, not start to settle into a pace that he might not be able to up the ante later should Bolin catch him.
And most of the French riders just aren't used to this blistering style of heat that we're experiencing here in Sacramento, California today. Let's check in with Davey in the pit area.
The halfway point here in the first moto, 2 things are apparent. Number 1, Stefan Roncada, very much on the pace here at Hangtown. Number 2, Travis Pastrana. Well, he made another freshman mistake. This time it probably cost him 20 points at least. As the weather starts to become more of a factor, we'll watch Roncada's pace. As for Pastrana, he might need to start thinking about the second moto.
Almost hate to think about a second moto in this heat. That's really when I think some of these guys are going to hit the wall.
I'll tell you what happens, Art, is when you're out here riding and you got a little bit of wind, as you sweat, the wind cools you off. But as soon as you get into these slow corners right here, you can feel it. You're like, oh, I hate this turn. It just feels so hot. Then when you finish the race and go back into the pits, it really hits you. You can't even imagine having to ride another moto.
So the winningest 125 Supercross rider on the season leads here in Moto number 1. We'll be right back.
KTM for Yamaha Powerhouse.